Now we don't want to turn off commenting. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people, man. First of all, I was not going to come back. I was not going to come back on here. I was not going to go back live. But I said to myself, if I am going to preach consistency, if I'm going to talk about people being consistent, if I'm going to encourage you, I need to take the same advice and I need to encourage myself. And sometimes it's easy to encourage other people, but it's difficult to encourage yourself. So what I want to do, man, is I want to start off first by encouraging myself. So you guys know that yes. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. But doing anything consistency for an extended period of time is something that is very difficult to do, but it's something that I know that I have to do, right? And so I didn't really feel comfortable about what I was talking about this morning. I was like, nah, it seemed a little bit scripted, but it's something that I have to get used to, especially if I want to continue to move in the space that I have a desire to move in, right? Sometimes you don't feel like you're getting the love or the support that you feel like you want or you desire, but the person that first needs to believe in anything that you're doing is you. Before anybody else can believe in the thing that you have going for yourself, you have got to believe in it first. And so I'm back here to let you all know that I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in how I'm doing it. And I believe the rest of the people that, choose to continue to support, man, show the love, bro. I know, and I'm confident that you all will believe in it too. So welcome back, good people. Welcome back, good people. Let's go. All right. So look, here's what I want to do, man. I want to start off by asking you guys a question, right? It's just a quick question. And this question is going to come from one of my favorite books, right? So before we get started, what if the biggest thing standing between you and the life that you are supposed to live isn't your money, your education, or opportunities? What if that thing is fear? See, I've been reading the book and I constantly go back to this book, The Alchemist. And one of the biggest lessons I've taken away is that every single one of us has what the book calls a personal legend and what we call in today's society, our purpose. The thing that we're meant to do, the life that we're meant to live. The problem is that most people won't pursue it, and not because they can't, simply because they won't. And today I want to talk about 3 lessons that I took from The Alchemist that I think every young person and honestly every adult needs to hear. Lesson number one, purpose usually begins as a dream that doesn't make sense. So it's something that we don't understand, and it's something that when we try to get other people to understand our dream, most likely they don't understand either. The young boy's name is Santiago. He starts the story as a shepherd and he's comfortable. He has a routine, and then he keeps having the same dream over and over again. Now think about that. How many of us have thought about something over and over and over again that we just can't seem to get out of our head, right? Most people, what they would do in a situation like that is most people would ignore it. Most people would have said, that's just a dream. But he decided to explore it. And what I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to explore your dream as well, right? That's what purpose often looks like. It looks like that thing that you can't get out of your mind. It looks like that thing that everything reminds you of this purpose that you have for yourself. Everything reminds you of this idea. It's like when you have a bad breakup with somebody and now every song that y'all used to listen to together, you can't even listen to it no more because it reminds you of that person. Every meal that you used to eat, you can't even eat that meal no more because that meal reminds you of that person. And there's a reason for that, right? Is because that meant something to you. So, and that's exactly what your personal legend is, right? It's an idea, it's a feeling, it's curiosity, something that you can't stop thinking about, something that you can't stop talking about. The problem is, as we spend too much time asking everybody else what they think, instead of asking ourselves and following our true personal legend, our true journey, right? We go through the process of, we ask our friends, hey, what do you think about this idea? We ask our family, hey, what do you think about this idea? We ask people who've never done what we're trying to do. And sometimes the people who love us the most unintentionally become the people who limit us the most because they're trying to protect us from disappointment. I want to ask you something. Have you ever had a dream that you talked yourself out of because it didn't seem practical? Because it didn't seem like it was something that you would be able to accomplish. And that's what we do most of the times is we will talk ourselves out of something before we talk ourselves into something. We will literally find every single opportunity we can to say, yo, this is the reason why this won't work. This is the reason why I can't do this because I don't have this, because I don't have this opportunity. Like, we will literally find every opportunity we can to talk ourselves out of something. I'm asking you to find a reason to talk yourself into it, because we'll ask ourselves and we'll say to ourselves, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does work? What if they don't like me? What if they love you and everything turns out to be way better than you thought it was going to be? What if, right? What if I mean, I've asked myself that question many, many times, right? Many, many times on this journey. What if it doesn't work? Very seldom do I ask myself, what if it does work? What if it does work, right? What if it does work? And so now I'm of the mindset that it doesn't matter what the journey holds for me, right? The only thing that matters is if I am willing to take the steps necessary, right? You have a dream that you talked yourself out of because it didn't seem practical. Maybe it was starting a business, writing a book, going back to school, starting a podcast, speaking on stages, changing careers. And maybe you convince yourself that it's too late, or maybe you've been wanting someone else to give you permission. Here's what I want to tell you. You do not need anybody's permission to go out here in this world and be great. You do not need anybody's permission to go out here in the world to be great. No one is coming to give you permission to become what you're capable of becoming. You have to decide. For me, building Backpack Jeff did not happen because everything was perfect. It happened because I decided to take one step and then another and keep moving when the path wasn't completely clear. There's a story that they talk about in the movie, The Secret, where they say, did you know that you can drive from New York to Los Angeles in the dark as long as you have your headlights, because all you need to see is the next 200 feet in front of you, and trust that the rest of the journey will unfold as you continue to get closer to those things. And that's the same thing that they talked about in this book, The Alchemist, right? They talked about a lot. Everything that you need to know, you already know, and everything that you need to learn, you will learn along the way. But you have to have the confidence to believe that you will learn those things along the way. Purpose rarely begins with certainty. It begins with courage. And if you don't know what courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. How many of you can go from one failure to the next without losing enthusiasm, without saying that, I'm not going to give it my all, or I'm not going to try as hard as I did in this thing, right? Many of us don't have the courage to love again after we've got our hearts broken. We don't. Many of us don't have the courage to love again after we've got our heart broken. One little time, right? But here's what I want to tell you, yo. You got to have the courage to move from failure to failure without enthusiasm. Yes, that thing did not work out, and that's okay. Yes, that thing did not happen the way that it was supposed to, and that's 100% okay, right? But you got to have courage in everything that you're doing. Lesson number 2 that I learned from The Alchemist, right? Comfort is the biggest enemy of purpose. This lesson changed the way that I see everything. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody had a line and they said, what's the best time to kill an alligator? And the best time is right after the alligator just ate. You know why? Because they're comfortable. You know why? Because they can't move and they're in a state of paralysis right now because they're so full. And some of us, we get so full on the things that we have consumed up to this point that we say to ourselves, there's no sense in trying anymore. One thing that I noticed throughout the book is that many people had opportunities, but they stayed where they are because they were comfortable. Being comfortable feels safe. Growth usually doesn't. I think about this in my own life, and I want you to think about your own life. How many people stay at jobs they hate because it's familiar? How many people complain about jobs every single day? They go into a job that they hate every single day and they still not out applying for jobs. How many people talk about they don't like the work that they do, but they go in every single day. They're too afraid to quit the job, right? Because they're comfortable, because the job gives them just enough to feel comfortable. The job gives them just enough to not feel like they're going to quit their job, right? They give you enough to not quit, but they don't give you anything more than what you feel like you deserve. How many people never apply for the position they actually want because they're afraid of hearing no? How many people say that they want success but refuse to become beginners again? How many people, if we're talking about the love thing, how many people don't find love again because they're afraid to what? Start over. Many people say, I don't want to start over. That's the reason why I don't want to find love again, right? Here's something that I've learned working with young people. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because discomfort convinces them to quit. The first workout is always the most uncomfortable workout. Your body's going to feel it. You're going to feel it the next day for the next 3 days, 4 days. I'm feeling it right now. I went hard on legs the other day and I've been working out, but going harder on legs than I traditionally do. Now I'm feeling it in my legs. Thank goodness, thanks to my wife, I got a nice massage and a stretch today. Shout out to all of the wives in the building, right? The first speech is going to be the most uncomfortable speech. The first speech that I did, y'all, I had my iPad out with me and I was going through my talking points like I was a pastor. Now, here's the thing. I didn't think that a speaker should have their iPad and have their notes in front of them. I just thought that a speaker should know exactly where they're going, what their points are, what they're going to talk about, and they should be able to deliver impact without having an iPad. And so I worked my way up to the point where I can deliver a speech without having my iPad in front of me, right? The first video that you post is going to be uncomfortable. We've all seen the ads. And if you're somebody who's been conscious of, creating videos and creating content, I've been seeing the ads. Yo, you got 1,000 different videos that you just haven't posted yet. Why? Because we're afraid of judgment. Why? Because we don't want other people to judge us. That's where the fear of speaking come from. The fear of speaking doesn't come from actually talking in front of people. The fear of speaking comes from being judged because we are talking in front of people. And that's exactly what happens on the videos. Y'all, I had to learn and I had to realize and come to the epiphany that if I get 200 views on every single video that I do, I'm thinking to myself, man, it's probably the same 200 people that's watching my videos over and over again. It's not. It's not. Like if I post 10 videos and I get 200 views per 10 videos, that's 10,000 views. Right. I'm sorry. That's 2,000 views right there. And it's not the same people that's watching it every single time. The same person might see like 2 or 3. But other than that, it's a different 195 people every single time that's viewing your videos. The same people that come into my live streams when I do these live streams in the morning. It's not the same people that come in here every single day, but I appreciate those who do. I appreciate those who do. Thank y'all so much. I mean, I greatly appreciate it. Listen, the first business that you start is going to be uncomfortable. Everything worth becoming starts with being uncomfortable. So let me ask you another question. What's one comfortable habit that is quietly stealing the future you want? What is one comfortable habit that is quietly stealing the future that you want? For me and for many others, I know it's that ugly little dance that we do with procrastination. It's that thing. Why do it today when I can just do it tomorrow? Maybe it's spending too much time scrolling more than it is studying. We talked about this yesterday, and we talked about this in previous live streams. That maybe you need to do. Maybe if you spend 3 hours a day scrolling on content, maybe you need to spend 3 hours a day creating content. Because then that will at least take away from the thing that you know that you should not be doing, right? And then start adding to a little bit of what you should be doing. Maybe we need to spend more of our time actually doing and engaging in the thing that we say we want to do, as opposed to just entertaining ourselves. I watched a young kid while I was part of my responsibilities in my job is managing homes. And I was watching a young kid watch other people play games. And I'm like, yo, why do you watch these people play these games and stuff like that instead of going out and creating content yourself? And there's a funny meme about that that actually where it's like where the little boy says, well, Dad, you do it. He's like, no, I don't. He's like, well, why do you watch grown men play football on Sundays instead of going out and playing football yourself? And I was like, he clocked it right there. But to the young people who still have time to be able to create and still have energy to be creative, what I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you to go out and be creative. To anybody that has a desire to go out and be creative, if you still have the energy, the effort, you still have the wisdom, the wherewithal, you still have the desire to do those things, instead of using all of your time. Thank y'all so much for the likes over there on TikTok. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are dope. I would say to you, go out, instead of spending 3 hours a day scrolling on content, spend 3 hours a day creating content. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be the content that you want. It's not going to look like everybody else's who's been doing this for 10 years. But just know that they got 10 years on you. That's the difference between their content and your content, is that they have 10 years on you, right? Maybe you need to surround yourself with people who are comfortable. Maybe you don't need to surround yourself with people who are comfortable staying exactly where they are. Purpose almost always requires you to leave something familiar behind. And when I think about, and when I say leave something familiar behind, what I'm thinking about is we need to often get out of the circle of familiarity that we find ourselves in. And if you're going to get out of that circle of familiarity that you find yourself in, it's going to require you to leave some things and some people behind. It is 100% going to require that. And most people aren't willing to sacrifice. Most people aren't willing to give up something that makes them comfortable. Lesson number 3, the journey changes you more than the destination, right? One of my favorite lessons from The Alchemist is that the treasure isn't the only reward. The journey changes Santiago. By the time he reaches his destination, he's wiser, he's more confident, he's stronger, he becomes someone different. And I think that's the truth. And I think that's true for all of us, right? As we move in our journey, as we go along in our journey, the journey is going to be something that is going to 100% change who you are from top to bottom. It should change who you are, because you should grow and you should elevate as you're on this journey. As you're on this journey, you should grow, you should elevate, you should acquire a different circle, because you are becoming someone different. You should have different lessons that you learn along this journey. And everything that you're learning along this journey is going to be something that is going to deposit into the change of you as a new person, right? Sometimes we become so focused on reaching a goal that we miss what the process is doing inside of us. Remember, we talked about yesterday, the things that you're doing is going to change on the inside before they start showing results and change on the outside. Maybe the business isn't just about making money. Maybe it's about teaching you leadership. Maybe school isn't just about earning a degree. Maybe it's about teaching you discipline. So many people think that going to school is just about learning the subject that we're in. No, it's teaching you conflict resolution skills, emotional intelligence skills, relationship skills. It's teaching you effective communication skills. It's teaching you critical thinking and problem solving, self-awareness, self-management, teaching you how to be not just a good leader, but also how to be a good follower. It's teaching you discernment. It's teaching you all of these things, right? Going to school isn't just about going to school and learning the subject that you are engaged in. It does far more than that. And I think that's one of the values that isn't taught about school. Maybe I need to do like a full video on that, about the value of school outside of school in and of itself. Like, this is where you go to find and learn yourself. Like, going to college isn't just about going to college. The college experience in and of itself isn't just about going to college. It's also about the experience of being in college. Like, I learned how to be a man in college. I learned so much about life and about growth and about development, right? Just being in college, right? Maybe your setbacks aren't punishment. Maybe they're preparation. Everything that you're in right now is essentially preparing you to live the life that you have a desire to live. Because if you got that thing that you wanted right now, chances are you wouldn't be ready for it. Because if you were ready for it, you would already have it. God would have already given it to you. When I look back over my own journey, I realized that the greatest reward wasn't the opportunity. It was becoming the kind of person who could handle those opportunities. Once I became the person that could handle those opportunities, I realized that more opportunities started to come my way. Myron Golden has this great saying, and he says, it doesn't take long to make $1 million. It takes long to become the person required to make $1 million. What an amazing quote. It doesn't take long to make $1 million. It takes long to become the person necessary to make $1 million. And here's the interesting thing. From what I've heard from other millionaires, making your first million is the hardest thing to do. Making your second or your third, you usually make that relatively quick. Some people, it took me 10, 15 years to make my first million, but it took me about 10, 15 months to make my second million. How is that possible? How is that possible, right? Because you've become the person required in order to make that first $1 million. That's the difference. You became the person that you needed to become in order to make that first $1 million. Now that you know how to make that $1 million, now you can replicate those things over and over and over again. I mean, before making $1 million, you've been consistently making multiple six figures, and you've done that over and over and over and over again until eventually you got to the point where you said, okay, now I'm on the million. I'm not concerned about making multiple six figures. I'm concerned with the million. Okay, now I'm doing the 2 million, and somehow I ended up doing 5 million my next year. I don't even know how that happen, right? Success isn't just about arriving, y'all. It's about becoming someone. So here's my final question for you today. Who are you becoming because of the journey that you're on right now? Not what you're getting, not what you're buying, not whatever title you're chasing. Who are you becoming? Because if you're becoming more disciplined, more compassionate, more resilient, more intentional, then you're already finding your purpose. You're already finding your purpose. Your purpose of what you're supposed to do is becoming the best version of you, because the next version of your life is going to require the best version of you. It's not going to this version of you that you are right now. The next version of your life is not going to be not going to be satisfied with that version. It's not going to be satisfied with that version. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate y'all coming in. Yeah, man, I love talking to myself, yo. Hey, listen, you got to talk to yourself, all right? You got to talk to yourself. And I'm also live on multiple platforms, but you got to talk to yourself. That's how you get better, man. That's how you get better, yo. I talk to myself. You know what I'm saying? I read to myself. Hey, Castaway Flows, man, I appreciate the likes, yo. Shout out to Castaway Flows, man. Appreciate it. Let's go, Castaway. Come on, yo. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's a couple more people in here. All right, so listen. In closing, I want to leave you with this. I don't believe that purpose is something that magically appears one day. I believe that purpose is revealed every time you choose courage over comfort. Every difficult situation, every book you read, every skill that you develop, every time you refuse to quit, that's how purpose unfolds. Man, I thank y'all so much for rejoining. Y'all know I do this every single morning from 8:30 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I had a little bit of mess up in the beginning, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do it today. Don't even worry about it. But one of the things that I try to make sure that I'm teaching people is I want you to be consistent. I want you to do it, even if it doesn't work out the way that you want to, even if it doesn't go as you plan. Just show up and be consistent every single day. And what my goal is just be consistent every single day. I believe in I believe in that. And again, if no one is watching, if you got 1 people watching, 2, 3, 4 people watching, right? I'm doing it for the people that watch, for the people that care, for the people that mean something to me. I mean something to me. So even if there is no one watching, man, I mean something to me. Castaway Flows, man, I appreciate you for coming in, for staying, for liking, for sharing the live out, man, for dropping the comments, man. I truly, truly appreciate it. Anybody that can get something from this message that I'm saying, that I'm talking about right now, they will receive that message. I 100% believe that. Every single last one of you all have a personal legend. You have something that you are fighting for. You have something that you are fighting towards. I encourage you to fight towards that thing, I encourage you to trust the journey and to trust the process. And if you don't know what you want to do, the best way to find out what you want to do in life is to figure out what you don't want to do. If you have no idea what you want to do, the best thing that you can do is find out what you don't want to do and then start to use process of elimination from there. I appreciate y'all for joining, man. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are absolutely dope. Again, I do this every morning from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, I had a 30-minute pushback because of some technical issues that I was working with. I wasn't going to do it, but I still came here and I did it anyway, man. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. My motto in life is always stay in your bag, so you never got to chase a bag. And the motto of the nonprofit organization that I run is winners write history and losers become a part of the story. I'm so glad that you all have decided to write your own history instead of allowing someone else to write you into their story, because I guarantee they would not write the ending to your life the way that you want it to be written, man. Make sure that y'all stay up, stay in your bag. I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all on Monday. Actually, I'm going to be going live tonight. We're going to do a family meeting tonight, I believe at like 7 p.m. So I'll be live again tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys will be able to get the notifications on that. So just hit that follow button so you guys can get that. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Until next time.